This is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. It's a live edition. We're back in action. It is PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July day.
Yeah.
I'm sure many people are continuing through the weekend. So hope everybody was safe and had a good time. We'll have JC on the Titan Tomorrow hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. There's not a whole lot going on in the sports world unless, if you want to watch Wimbledon, but Wimbledon takes like 3 weeks, it seems like. As Andy says, Ben Shelton with the big win yesterday at Wimbledon. He's on to the 3rd round. Yeah, it's JC, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Ben Shelton has to come right back out today. Now, luckily, the guy he's playing from Canada is also coming right back out today. Both guys had 5-set thrillers, and I think Ben won in the 5th set, 10-7 in a tiebreaker. So he went the max, and he's 21 years old. So what?
I forgot. So tell me how many, like in the NCAA basketball tournament, you had to win 6 games to win the national title. How many damn matches you got to win in Wimbledon?
It's close to that. It's probably it's more than that.
It seems like it's more than that.
Yeah, no, it is more than that. And the goal they make the real money once they hit the quarterfinals, and then after the quarterfinals comes the semifinals. So if you can get to that 16 round of 16 players remaining, that's where you'll get really, really compensated for all your work. And this is a big one. This is one of their grand slams, and it's on grass. Everybody wears the same white. It's kind of it's very traditional. I would say this is the closest thing to the Masters that tennis has. But Ben Shelton's still alive. He started off slowly. He loses the first set, it seems like, in his matches, but he drags it out, and then he'll outlast the guy he's playing. So, yeah, he's still alive. He's playing again today, early. So it actually may be starting here soon. So, but luckily, the guy he's playing against also had to go 5 yesterday. And so maybe he's still alive. QB, do you realize that we are 50 days away from what they call week 0? And in week 0, we have 4 or 5 games on the schedule, including Florida State's game with Georgia Tech. And we have SMU, one of the ACC's newest additions. They're also playing. And I was looking at the conferences and the predictions and the odds for some of these conferences. Would you want to venture a guess who is favored in some of these conferences, QB, on the odds? It
sure.
might be.
Would you like to ask me, and I will answer you?
I would like to. The ACC, since we're talking about Florida State, obviously we all know they're favored to win. They're a 3-1 favorite, which I don't think is very good odds, frankly.
Well, that doesn't mean people think. Clemson's probably second, right?
Right, Clemson's second, but who do you think is third? Right there behind.
I would go with Louisville, but I probably not.
Louisville is 6 plus 650. NC State's plus 700. It's actually Miami at plus 425.
Look out for NC State. NC State. They've been winning 8 and 9 games every year. So I still think Clemson's going to win that. I wonder where Clemson and Florida State play this year. Do you know the answer to that, JC?
It's easy to see or find out. I want to say it's at Tallahassee, but I could be.
So Reggie did some research for us on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. He says you have to win 7 matches to win Wimbledon.
Okay, so you were close, but it's a lot of work. Okay, so we go to the Big Ten. We all know that Ohio State, they're only getting plus 150. Who do you think is the second highest seed, if you will, or the second biggest favorite in the Big Ten, QB? This might surprise you.
Oregon?
No. Whew. Very good. Yes. What about the third?
That would probably be the Michigan Wolverines.
They are plus 600. Penn State's plus 500. It's very close. Who do you think? And so then the last team, the biggest odds, the longest odds would be Indiana. Over in the Big 12, who is the favorite to win that conference this year, QB?
Well, I'm trying to remember who's in it, but I would probably lean to the Utah Utes. Are they in it?
Wow, you must have seen this.
I have not seen it. I swear to God, I've not seen it.
I believe.
And he says Clemson plays at the semis on October the 5th.
That makes sense. Utah is plus 350. The Kansas State Wildcats are predicted to are right there, close enough. And then the last place team would be Houston. And then finally in the SEC, I think we all know that Georgia's favored. Who would be the second highest favorite, I guess?
Hook 'em horns.
And Florida plays them back to back, both those teams. Who would be third?
I would go with Alabama.
Well, it's actually Mississippi.
Yeah, I'm a diehard Rebel, but you're going to have to. They're going to have to win some. They're going to have to win some games that mean something till I can buy in.
So Mississippi's plus 650, Alabama's plus 800, which means 8-1. Plus 650 is 6.5-1. The Fighting Gators, what would you say they're where are they?
In the Southeastern Conference?
Yeah, picked.
Probably about ninth or 10th.
They are plus 15,000, and if there's 16 teams, they would be 12th.
12. So we'll see. We got a text here on the Titan MR text line. It's an anonymous texter. It's a multiple text, JC. I got to read these. I want to get your response.
That's it.
Okay. Okay, this gentleman, I assume it's a gentleman. He constantly sends texts complaining about my program. And that's fine. Not all programs are good for everybody. And my program is not like Podcast X or Podcast B's guys. I mean, everybody does it their own way. He says, can we replace the Brent Beard picture that is at the Georgia Bulldog Club?
Yeah.
Who cares? Brent, that's what Brent does. That ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
Thought this was a Gators sports podcast, not JC travels and health benefits. Most listeners do not like golf, and definitely to the level y'all discussed. You need to realize your listeners' time is valuable. So, as I said, look,
it's actually making
you do not have to hit the own button to listen to my program. And we are going to talk golf because I love golf. Speaking of golf, we just got another golf text, by the way. Do you want to respond to that at all? I think it's hilarious.
Well, listen, dude, I can go as deep as the cleats every athlete and the shoes every athlete wears at UF if UF would like to pay me for this kind of thing. But we do give you as much as you could ask for when things get started, I think, QB. I really do believe that. I mean, you are literally in the announcer's booth every single game. What podcast gives you that? I, on the other hand, like to talk about things that involve that as well. But once in a while, in July, when everybody's half asleep and getting sunburned, maybe we would talk about something that might make you feel better in your life with health benefits. Because here's the thing. You can watch the Gators play and you can be sick as a dog, or you can be unhealthy as hell, or you can watch the Gators play and actually feel good about where you're going in your life or what you're doing to make your health better. QB, I think that's valuable stuff. And I think the show is mostly about when we're on us and then what we talk about. That's kind of how I look at it. But I know what people are saying, and I get it. But, you know, sometimes you got to shake it up. It's July. It's July the 5th, QB.
Yeah. Yeah. Michael says on
but
YouTube,
it's funny to hear
what a horrible review, Shane. Damn. And then this, like I said, in the position that I played all my years professionally and collegiately, JC, you know me for a long time.
Yes.
Do I give two craps about what anybody thinks or says?
Unless we're on the golf course, then you get sometimes upset if somebody, you know,
as long as you play by the rules, I don't care what you say or whatever on the golf course.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. No. The answer to your question is, Absolutely not. No.
Yes. So
And
anyway,
by
I
the
just
way,
thought
when you're,
I thought that was very, very funny.
I do too.
Um,
And by the way, when you're in that booth and you're with Sean or whatever, and you see a play breaking out before the ball is delivered, and you start going, "Oh God," or "Oh yeah," that is exactly why you're in that booth. That's what
I
we
know,
want.
and I'm not supposed to do that, but I do
No,
it
you're
anyway. I can't
supposed
help
to
it.
QB, you're supposed to do what you do. They hired you. They did not hire an AI generated bot to give you the play by
Speaking of
play.
that, they may have that here pretty soon if we don't watch
Well,
out.
well, the reality is, and I do feel some qualification to talk about announcing because I did it for 10 years. You give them you and how you see the game. And I think you do it outstandingly. And I like
Okay.
listening. Okay.
We got a couple of golf texts here for our gentleman that doesn't like golf, so maybe he'll tune out now. But this is from Ponte Vedra Beach Bull Gator on the Titan MR text line. He says, JC, what are the odds that Hayden Springer is in the top 10 on Sunday?
Yeah.
By the way, I feel like they're playing Hell Plantation.
Well, Hayden Springer is lighting up TPC Deer Run. And, you know, QB, this course always has ridiculous scores. I mean, this tournament always has ridiculous scores. This course is very simple and easy. And we get players that are typically not, brand names, if you will. And Mr. 59 here, Hayden Springer, is at 12 under after one round. So
Yeah.
so he's going to be 27 under or 6 under.
Well, he had a couple of chip ins and things of that nature. To shoot 59, you got to have some breaks.
Yeah, you got to have some breaks. But let's face it, man, he's going to play 3 more times on this track. So if the wind doesn't blow or whatever, I don't know what they do.
Well, it was lift, clean, in place. If you let a professional golfer pick the ball up, clean it, and set it into a nice lie, and there is no wind and the greens are soft due to rain, they're going to shoot lights out because they're that good.
Right.
But it's actually our golfers. I don't know. I had, let's see, where is our list here for the John Deere? I had Sunjay M. I think he's 5 under. I had Sepp Straka, and I had, dang it, did I have Davis Riley? I thought I had Davis Thompson. Anyway, they're both the same guy, but Davis Thompson played good yesterday. You have JT Poston, Denny McCarthy. I saw him on the leaderboard. Patrick Ryers, I don't know if he showed up or not.
Yeah, well, Denny McCarthy's 7 under. He's right there tied for 8th. I mean, this is something he can light up. He's a good putter. So yeah, I think we did a good job on our picks, and we'll see when they cut the field in half today.
Yeah. All right. The last golf text here that I have so far is this is from Jerry in St. Simons. He says, I'm just curious, what are y'all's handicaps?
St. Simons, okay. Jerry is curious about our handicaps. Maybe he wants to play against us.
Mine changes once a month in our group, and mine is at a 3.4 index right now.
Right. Mine is, I don't know if you can see that.
8.3.
Yeah, but here's the thing. On my course, that doesn't travel very well. So realistically, let's say this 8.3 is, if I'm playing courses that, like, say you play mostly, it's more like 11 or 12 at least. So yeah, that's okay. I'm fine with it. I've got arthritis. I'm working on it though. I want to get things done. I'm going to get. Oh, here we go. Health. Turn it off. I'm going to get injections, amniotic fluid injections into this hand. I'm done with the steroid injections, and that should help my swing.
All right, good stuff here. Where is anyway, we'll get back to it. Text here on the Titan MR text line. This is from Billy. It's regarding Gator baseball. He says, who do y'all think will have a better pro career? Wyatt Langford or Cags?
A lot of it depends on sometimes where they end up. And I think Texas is a great place for Wyatt Langford. I think he's going to be fantastic there. They like him a lot.
Boy, he made an unbelievable. Did you see the catch he made, JC?
Yeah.
To rob the home run?
Yeah, he's tremendous. What an athlete this guy is. I didn't know, and I should have known this, but I didn't know how fast he was. And I always looked at him as a power hitter who just drills the ball. But he can really motor, man. You can hit a ground ball past the second baseman. You can stretch that into a double. you've got something. And they love that guy. So I think, regardless of what his batting average is, I think he's hitting 240 something, whatever. I think that's fine for a guy that's just getting into that level of play. As far as Cags go, if he ends up with somebody like the White Sox or somebody who's struggling right now because it's going to be a high pick, we'll have to see how it goes. But you end up with the defending World Series champions.
Well, how in the world? Now that you say that, how did the Rangers, after winning the World Series, pick in the top 5?
Well, they obviously must
traded.
Yeah, they had to have traded for it in the past. And yeah, exactly right. I mean, I think that was just flat out luck for him to land with Bruce Bochy. I mean, are you kidding me? Hall of Fame manager, 4-time World Series champion, won it 3 times in the National League and 1 time in the American League, if I'm not mistaken. This guy is a Hall of Famer, and you've got the ability to play for a guy like that in your first year to learn Major League Baseball. My God. And you've got, veterans all over I just think it's a great situation for him. It makes sense too. It's a great area. Arlington, Dallas Metro. Yeah. He's not stuck in Seattle. He's not. What was our catcher that played in Zunino? Mike Zunino. Stuck in Seattle. I mean, Jesus. But good for Wyatt. And we'll see where Cass goes. I'm going to say something like the White Sox or a team that's struggling, obviously, because I think he's going to be a top 10 pick.
Yeah. Cags was Rookie of the Month. He's probably got a very good chance. I don't know who else will be up there for Rookie of the Year. Now, there's a lot of times, those guys that have been in the single A, double A, triple A, they get called up. They've been playing pro ball for 8 years, but then they become a rookie in the majors. I don't know if anybody. I don't follow baseball enough right now, but I would think he's got to have a chance. You could check your odds, JC, on Wyatt Langford for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
CertaPro Painters of Gainesville is the area's leader in painting excellence and proud partner of the Florida Gators, offering professional painting service for homes and businesses, plus cabinet refinishing and carpentry repairs. Visit CertaPro.com for a free estimate.
So over here on Crescent Beach, the Georgia Bulldog tents are everywhere. I mean, you would think we were at
hang on a second. Hold that thought. We're both a bunch of dumbasses, JC.
Oh, yeah.
Because Dan just said that the Rangers drafted in the year that they won the World Series. They won it.
You're right.
Year that he got drafted.
That's right, and they stunk that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's July 5th. All right, we're getting over the 4th here. Good point. Excellent. So Georgia Bulldog tents everywhere. I saw a couple of Tennessee tents. Man, Tennessee's getting a lot of love. And
do you have an Alabama tent?
I don't have one. No, I have actually a blue Florida color tent, and we had that out yesterday.
JC, how are your tent putting up skills?
Quite good. I need assistance. They're heavy, these things. I got the Chinese-made tent I bought from Target 2 years ago that still works. It hasn't rusted yet. These things basically are one summer, $59 deals. But you get them, you tote them down there, you open it up, and it folds out, and boom, there it is. But now they've come out with these freaky tents that just glide with the wind and flutter in the air, and they're very small, and they fold real good, and you stick them in the bag, and you flip it over your shoulder, or you throw it in the back of the truck. People drive their trucks and cars down here on the beach, but it's only in a certain area at the back toward the dunes. And at low tide, this is the biggest beach in the world. We're talking I think it's at least 125 yards from where you get onto the beach to low tide at the bottom. That is the biggest beach, and thank God it is. I looked at a picture of Barcelona and Clearwater Beach, and these beaches look like locker rooms or stadiums when you walk in. But over here at Butler and Crescent Beach, which has always been known as Crescent Beach, I don't know where they come up with this Butler Beach, but it's Crescent Beach, and it is the biggest damn beach you've ever seen in your life. And you can bring your truck down there and unload it and just walk down there and set up everything. So we do that, and of course we get helpers, kids and so forth, spouses, people like this, aunts, uncles, and everybody sets up. And we cooked yesterday. We had a guy that had the grill going. That grill, after he lost his sunglasses in the ocean, ended up upside down in the front yard of the condo last night because of his anger. But he still grilled for us, and we made food, and it was fun. And we talked football. We talked SEC. And I saw Georgia Bulldog. There are more Georgia Bulldog people here with their license tags and their stickers and the woo-woo sick 'em. I mean, honest to God, you'd think you were in Savannah. And that's what it feels like over here. I don't like it necessarily, but that's what you get. And so here you go.
Well, it's probably the same people that were there 15, 20 years ago, but they didn't want to pull their damn tents out.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. This is, this goes back. Oops, my rig here. But no, it's just the way it is. I mean, they've had great success. Kirby is unbelievable, and should be on the Mount. If we talked about the Mount Rushmore coaches, Saban, Bryant, Spurrier, and I threw Kirby Smart on there right now.
Yeah. All right. Speaking, I wanted to bring it up to you because I asked Brent Beard this the other day, JC, because he's an Alabama grad as well.
Yes.
We've had some people, say Alabama is not going to be what Alabama's been because you lost the greatest coach of all time, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
As an Alabama guy, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Are you nervous at all? Not nervous, but are you just kind of wait and see what's going to happen this year with Kalen DeBoer?
Yeah, I mean, I think people have to.
What's going on with your computer?
The thing I left my my computer stand at home, but I'm using a flower pot and a candle to hold it up. Anyway, the nervousness doesn't really come from the fact that maybe they'll go 10-2, which is like bad. The nervousness is that it's with NIL and the way they recruit these days. Saban had advantage, and when he left, Caleb Downs, a lot of guys just left because they left. But I think once people understand it and see the way Kalen DeBoer will coach in this league, and he'll win games because that's what he's done everywhere. I don't know why he wouldn't here. I think folks will be relaxed. Hey, listen, they start off with South Florida and Western Kentucky. So let's assume they go 2-0. You then go to Wisconsin. If you can go up there and drill Luke Fickell on his home field against a Big Ten team that's not favored to necessarily win the conference, but a team that is, a name. If you go up there and drill them and Milroe looks good and doesn't turn the ball over, I think people will be fine. But let's face it, after that, you've got a week off before Georgia comes in, and that's going to be the game that if they're 3-0 and they compete like they did in the SEC championship game, it's going to really determine whether the fears of Alabama fans will be assuaged or if they get worse because of how they play against Carson Beck and that very, very talented and experienced and depth-filled Georgia Bulldog team. So they get a week off before that game. They play 3 games that I think they can win. So I'm not nervous yet. I'll get nervous if they don't look good in those first 3 games. Yeah.
All right. North Florida Bear on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plum. Says Shane and JC, did you guys catch that Argentina versus Ecuador soccer match last night? What's wrong with Argentina? North Florida Bear, I did not.
I did.
JC,
North Florida Bear. Did? Ecuador was a 7-1 underdog. Could have won.
They won?
They should have. They didn't. They had a penalty kick, and the guy lollygagged it, hit the post. That should have tied the game. At the end of the day, they did tie the game in what is called, and this is the most arbitrary thing in soccer, but once you hit 90 minutes, you have this thing called injury time. And it goes
and nobody knows how long it will last.
There's some made-up number. When they hit minute 90, they'll say, okay, +6 or +5. And they'll show that. They'll say, okay, there's 5 or 6 minutes to go. What I don't understand is why don't they just stop the damn clock when these guys are on the ground in agony? Somebody kicked their ankle or their kneecap or their shin. I mean, these guys, you would think somebody shot these guys when they get, when they fall on the ground because of the agony they're in. I mean, my God, what the hell?
Well, Jason, have you ever been kicked in the ankle or the shin?
I know, it's so, I get it, but they all go after each other's feet, it seems like. So many flags for low hit.
Because if they hit them up here, it ain't going to do a damn thing because they play the game with their feet.
That's right. But they crack their heads on the headers, on the corner kicks, and so forth. But I saw the game to answer the question. Ecuador really could have and should have probably won that game. But as we expect, the United States flopped and is really, it's shameful. Why U.S. soccer with 300 million people in this country sucks so bad. And countries like Panama and Uruguay, which are literally the size of Tennessee and Washington State combined, can just drill us and beat us. But I don't really keep up with it as much as some people do. But I like watching it during the big tournaments. And we've got the World Cup coming to America in 2 years. So that is going to be actually quite an event because people are going to flood the country from all over the world, if that's the kind of thing you like. And they're going to watch soccer. and it's really boring to me. But I don't know. I watch these games for some reason, and they give you a chance to make money on it if you want. So.
Kanye Ron on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumber, says, Shane, did you see on ESPN the new defensive scheme called the flex, supposed to confuse offensive blocking scheme? I have not seen that or heard it. I do not watch ESPN unless there's a sporting event on. I'll have to check into that, but I don't know how some new defense can be. There's only so much you can do. You have to stay gap sound defensively, or you're just rolling the dice and risking a lot of stuff. So I'll have to look into that. Here, let's get to some texts on the Titan More text line. This guy says, my name is Kevin. I love golf. I love the program. QB and JC. QB, I happened to watch a replay of the 91 FSU game. They showed a picture of you, Kez, and Terrell Buckley. Any stories about playing with those guys in high school? In the game, you burned Terrell and he got called back and he picked you off. How mad were you after that? Yeah. We had a curl and go for a touchdown, but FSU was known for A-gap blitzing, and so Eric Rett knew that. He moved up, but he moved up to the A-gap to protect as the ball was snapped, got called back, and then I made a bad throw, and Terrell picked me off the next play. But yeah, we all three played together in high school. Pretty good team there.
You won the state championship your senior year, didn't you?
Yeah, we were very good. This is a text on the Titan More text line. Do you know what Chris Leak is doing now? Chris Leak trains a lot of quarterbacks in the Orlando area. He has his own little, I think it's called Airstrike Passing Academy. He's been on our show multiple times. We'll probably get him back on, but yeah, he's a quarterback trainer down there. JC, let's get to this day in sports, brought to you by Campus USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA Credit Union. JC, in 1898, Lizzie Arlington becomes the first woman to play professional men's baseball when she pitches in the ninth inning for the Reading Coal Heavers, which I like that name, the Coal Heavers, against the Allentown Peanuts. She allowed 2 hits and a walk, but preserved the 5-0 win.
I think the Peanuts were minus 250 that day.
The Coal Heavers, though, could you imagine picking up some coal and just heaving it?
Nah, man, the Coal Heavers. And the peanut, a peanut breeds fear in the opposition for sure. Yeah, that's cool. That's 126 years ago. 50 days to open. 50 days. Go ahead. What?
You weren't around then?
No. 50 days though, and we start football in Ireland between Georgia Tech and FSU.
Yeah, we had Charlie Dean, former Gator tight end, on the other day. His son plays at Georgia Tech, so he's making the trip out that way. Asa on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law, says, does anyone know why the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to renovate the 1996 stadium to make it new? Why aren't they just building a $2 billion stadium in the parking lot with a retractable roof? Have you ever asked that question? It does look like they will be playing in Gainesville for one season, complete the upgrade. JC, you probably follow that more than I do.
I do. They are going to,
but I don't know if it's confirmed that they're coming to Gainesville. I know Orlando is still in the mix.
It's just the only 2 choices there are.
I personally think they should play in Orlando because you just set up the stadium and then you don't have to deal with it. Because in Gainesville, you're gonna have to change the goalpost. You're gonna have to change hash marks. You're going to tear up the natural grass. They're going to have to put Jaguar crap all around the field. I just don't see them possibly playing in Gainesville.
No, you make a great point. I think those 3 reasons are big. But the only thing I think working against Orlando, QB, is just what a trashy dump that stadium is in.
Well, now they've redone it over the years. I mean, look, if it was that trashy, they would not have 3 bowl games there, JC.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm still waiting for the first sellout of any of those bowl games, and I think
they sell out the Capital One Bowl.
They sell it out. Telling me
they have 2 like lower tier, like the Pop-Tart Bowl, and then I can't remember the other bowl, but the one that used to be called the what did it used to be called?
Citrus Bowl.
Yeah, that one is usually sold out because you have an SEC school against a Big Ten school.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the Orange Blossom Trail QB. I'm just going to tell you the truth. It's not a great area. But I'll tell you that I don't disagree with what you're saying in terms of getting the place ready for an NFL game. And especially if the Gators are trashing the field with LSU on Saturday, and here come the Chicago Bears to play the Jags the next day. So, yeah, you're right. I mean, now there are some places that actually have that. Tampa has that when USF plays and then the Bucks play. And I want to say Miami as well. The Dolphins with the lousy Hurricanes and their homeless team playing on that field. The next day, the Buffalo Bills.
But the difference too there is there's plenty of parking at both of those venues. Yes. The parking, let's be honest, parking in Gainesville sucks. There's nowhere to park.
No, I don't see how it's possible. Yeah, you're right.
Now, financially, we may say we don't care. This is what they're going to pay to come play in the swamp, and we'll take their money.
We'll take the money. Yeah, no, I rent the place. I get it. Totally understand. There's things they can do, but think about it. If you have a night game with the Gators, followed by a 1 o'clock game the next, hours later, that is going to be a tall chore. So we'll see if they can figure this out with the logistics. However, as far as the stadium goes in Jacksonville, it is going to literally be a brand new stadium. It's not going to be anything similar to what you're seeing now. It's going to look more like SoFi Stadium. In fact, it'll be more impressive in spite of the fact that the cost would be half of what it costs out there at SoFi. Remember, they built SoFi in Los Angeles, California. Everything costs more there. This stadium in Jacksonville is going to look just like it with a glass roof, these luxury areas and the walking areas, the concession. It's going to be fantastic. Go on the Jaguars app and check it out. It's going to be amazing. They're not going to play until I think they'll get there on the season of 2028. So you're talking 4 years, basically 4 years. But they're going to rebuild it as they play in 25 and 26 there. And then in 27, they'll come here or Orlando. And then in 28. So it's kind of a long, drawn-out thing, but they've included the local economy in this. The city said yes. The mayor, Donna Keegan, I think her name did a tremendous job, and Shad is paying for all of the overruns, and he's also going to pay for the biggest part of the bill, which he should. He is the damn owner, but it is great that I think that team is going to stay in Jacksonville. The league has to basically approve this when the owners meet here in a month. They will approve it. They will vote it in, and then Jacksonville will have one of the top 3 or 4 venues in the entire National Football League. It will be unbelievable. Just go on the app and check it out. There's nothing that's going to remind you of what they have now except the location. And they're going to do a lot of work around that location to make it.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff down on the river. I was down there several weeks ago, and there's all kinds of construction, like hotels. I think it's going to be unbelievable. Ritz-Carlton down there, I think.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be a complete facelift. They're going to change a lot of what we are used to there. And listen, for Florida Gator fans, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Weather will not impact the Florida-Georgia game at all. And I think because of this stadium, the Florida-Georgia game is likely going to be in Jacksonville for the rest of our lifetime. I really believe that. It may not have been without this stadium, but now with this stadium, that game ain't going anywhere. It's going to be amazing. That place is going to be incredible.
David says on Facebook, I've lived in Orlando for 40 years. JC isn't kidding. The Citrus Bowl is a dump. It used to be really much of a dump, but like Kanye Ron says, with the new Orlando soccer stadium, which is like 2 blocks away, they've cleaned that area up. Look, I was in the Citrus Bowl several times last spring. It's a nice arena. I mean, I thought it was very nice. They closed in both ends, new locker rooms, new seat chair backs. I mean, I thought I didn't see anything wrong with it.
You got a bus ride to the stadium too, QB.
No, the parking lots, they got plenty of places to park. Let's just put it this way. I've seen much worse stadiums. Yeah, I will say this, and this is not taking a shot at Florida because Florida Stadium is really old. Yeah, it's more updated than the Swamp.
Okay. Well, maybe. And listen, these college facilities like Florida Field, the Bryant-Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Neyland Stadium in Tennessee, there's no parking. I mean, it's not meant for 100,000 fans. I don't care what anybody says. These stadiums were built, they had half the capacity that they have now, and the surrounding area is literally the same. So you're going to come in with 2 times as many people to basically try to park in the same spot that they were parking in the 60s QB. So, I mean, Neyland Stadium didn't start with 114,000 fans. It started with 60. Florida Field.
No, I know. I can't put it this way. College football stadiums should not have good parking if you have it on campus. There's only one that I can think of that has a ton of parking, and that's Williams-Brice, because it's over in the fairgrounds. It's not even on campus.
No, that's true, but they have expanded the capacity in many of these stadiums by a multiple of 2, and nothing has really expanded around it. I mean, University Avenue is still University Avenue, and Lake Alice ain't going anywhere, right? But it's okay. Yeah. I mean, people, like you said, people park in their little trees and their little wooded areas, and they have their tailgate. It's just fine. But if you want, you don't get Arrowhead Stadium parking at any of these SEC games. It's okay.
Junior says on Facebook, brought to you by Melton Law, says, I hope the Jags come to the Swamp. Great for local businesses and hotels, as long as they play on away Gator weekends. Would that be possible? Yes. So
yes.
You said in 2027 is when they're talking about doing all this?
2027 is when they'll have.
So what they will try to do is, when the NFL sets their schedule, if they decide to play in Gainesville, right. Like if they decide to play in Orlando, it does not matter. But if they decide to play in Gainesville, or if it was Tallahassee, what they would look at is they'd look at the Gator home schedule, and they would try to send the Jags on the road when the Gators played at home.
Plus, the Jags are always under this leadership and this ownership. They're
going to be playing in London.
They're going to play a home game overseas. There's no doubt about it. And that's not included in the season ticket package, thank God. But yes, that's just the way that he runs his business. That's kind of like London's team over there. So they'll spend 2 weeks over there. I mean, they'll play as a home team, and then they'll play as a road team in England. So that's just how he does it. But I mean, I think it'll be fine for the 2027 season. As long as it's 1 year, we can get around it. It's
sticking with the Gators. I mean, with the Jags. Dan's question on Facebook Live: do you think the Super Bowl will ever come back to Jags after the stadium upgrade? I would say yes. However,
absolutely will.
Remember the issue when they hosted were hotels, and they had like cruise ships coming in for people. I don't know how many hotels have been built since then. I know some have, but that would be the only issue to not have it.
Well, all this development down in the downtown area, I think, will have the capacity for a Super Bowl. I do. And this stadium is going to be so fantastic that they are going to showcase it in the Super Bowl. And look, who doesn't want to come to Florida in January? It's a lot better than New York. So, and it is controlled. I mean, they'll have a glass roof over the damn place. It's going to be incredible, dude. I'm just telling you, I can't believe it. It's going to be the closest thing to what they built in L.A. that the league will have. And in Las Vegas, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, unbelievable place, right? You have to build it with a roof, though, because you can't play in those. Well, I guess maybe you could in the wintertime, but in the summertime you can't play football in those areas. In Las Vegas you can't. It's too hot.
Silverback concrete builds firm foundations for generations. You stand on it. We stand by it. A few more minutes with JC on the Titan hotline.
The Oakland A's are moving to Las Vegas for that reason alone, stadium issues. So, yeah.
A question here from Andy on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel. Is Bronny James taking a pay cut from NIL days with that $7.9 million contract he signed with LA? Look, I've made my Bronny James comments on here. Nothing against the kid, and he may turn into a great NBA player. I do not see it. I don't know what USC was paying him in NIL, but whatever they were paying him, they got nothing out of it.
No, they didn't.
Nothing out of it. He averaged less than 5 points a game.
I mean, that's the cautionary.
I could go suit up right now at 54 years old, and if you gave me at least 15 shots, I'm going to average more than 5 points a game. I can promise you that. So, I mean, I don't know how in the world he makes the Lakers roster. Now, he may be on there because they're going to play him in some blowouts, and everybody be going, here's the first father-son. This ain't Ken Griffey and Ken Griffey Jr.
No,
right?
No, not even close. You got the Hall of Famer there. Look, Dad's just signed with that team for $104 million over 2 years, and so he'll be there to get Bronny acclimated if he makes the team. But I'm kind of with you, dude. I don't know how he's NBA is a different animal than college basketball, bro. It's crazy.
But JC, we've all seen great college basketball players that don't pan out in the NBA. They end up going overseas and making a good living. And then there's always those diamonds in the rough that you never heard of that come out of nowhere. Look, the athletes in the NBA are freaks. I always talk about the best football players in the world in the National Football League. They are freaks. That's why everybody thinks they're going to go to the NFL, but there's only like 1% that make it because it's a different game. The NBA is the same. I mean, those dudes are so freaking athletic and scary. I just don't see how he makes it. I could be 100% wrong. And like I said on the show a couple of days ago, I will eat crow or whatever you're supposed to do if he turns into a great
NBA player.
All right, real quick, JC, here's a text. Is the Gator Bowl part of college playoff system, and what would happen in 2027 if they are? I don't think the Gator Bowl is.
It's not. No. It's not. No. It's just the Fiesta show.
However, let's say this. Jacksonville could eventually, once this stadium is built, they could host the national championship game.
They 100% could bid for that. And with that kind of venue, they're going to get a hard look. Absolutely 1,000%. And again, with the infrastructure rebuild of that area, you're going to see a whole new attitude toward North Central or Northeast Florida and Jacksonville specifically by entities such as the College Football Playoff, the NFL, the soccer, anybody that wants to come and enjoy great amenities, a great stadium, and tremendous new infrastructure is going to come. And so that's going to be a lot. So it's going to be an economic, but we're talking billions to the local economy, billions. So it's going to really be a shot in the arm for, that area. Duval County is going to really benefit. And since ownership has taken the bulk of the costs, I don't think it's a big expenditure relative to the amount of revenue over the next 20 years, 25 years that area is going to accumulate. It is incredible. Think of, like, I have a place 40 minutes south of Jacksonville. If the Super Bowl comes here, you think this place is going to get rented? You better believe it is. So, I mean, you never know. Nobody will probably want to come, but it's the beach. All I'm saying is these opportunities will now exist. And look, man, I'm just excited for City. Jacksonville's a good place, man. It's Florida Gator hotbed, okay? And Georgia is here. They play the Gators every year. It's going to feel like that series will belong in Jacksonville again. And I think it's going to be great because Georgia folks want to play that game in Atlanta. I've talked to so many people here on the beach about coming back to Jacksonville, and they go, I mean, okay, I guess, but, wouldn't be bad if you played them in Atlanta once in a while. I said, okay, well, I get it. All right. Trip. A road trip for the Georgia fan. It's a road trip, except for the Bulldogs.
Back to the NBA real quick, and we'll get you out of here. NBA. Mark on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says Dalton Connect is a Laker. Do you think he will be a standout? I do. He's 6'6". He can flat out shoot the ball. He's a bucket getter, athletic as hell. Yeah, I think I don't know if he's going to be a standout, but I think he's going to be a dang good player in the NBA.
He'll make the team.
What do you mean he's going to make the team? He's the damn first-round pick.
Well, I guess what I mean is he'll play, and that'll be subject to watching most of the game. Yeah, he'll play. I mean, listen,
he will be playing a lot for them.
He's and
then here's the last text. I don't know if you heard this. This is from James. He said, I would like to get JC's thoughts on the top schools and athletic revenue that you mentioned a couple of days ago. It's a long text. I'm paraphrasing here. I don't know if you heard that.
I didn't.
Okay, so the Gators top schools and athletic revenue from last year.
Okay.
The Gators are 15th in America at 189 million. 15. The Ohio State Buckeyes are first. Then A&M, Texas. Your Alabama Crimson Tide are 10th at 199 million.
Right. Well, a lot of this is demographic related, if you ask me. You cannot compare some of these schools like the one in Tuscaloosa to the one in Austin in terms of, or even Columbus, Ohio. It's a big city. But I think you're right. I think Florida is well represented. You win a
But
few
what do the big cities have to do with an athletic
Well,
revenue?
I think because you have a bigger fan base in that centralized area. It doesn't mean you have more fans throughout the country, but in that centralized area, I think there's just more people. There's more people, more fans. That could create more revenue, I think.
Yeah, and but you're right. I just don't know what the what's all involved in
I
the
don't
word
either.
revenue.
But hey, winning more than 6 games is going to help revenue wise. I can tell you that.
Yeah, for sure.
No doubt.
I'm just looking at this list again.
Yeah, I mean,
It's quite interesting.
yeah,
Okay. All right, JC, are you going out to put up the 10 again today?
No, we're playing golf at the World Golf Village today, and then tomorrow.
Which one?
Might be
the Bear?
No, the easier one. Thank God. It's 100 degrees.
Squire?
Yeah, it's 100 degrees outside, and then we've got potentially a boat ride down the Intercoastal tomorrow, and then we'll pack her up on Sunday and get ready to go to Chicago next week. Chicago next week for me.
All right, that's JC. Join us on the Titan Tomorrow hotline. Let's hope he survives the boat ride.
Yes. I won't drive. I can tell you that. Don't worry about it.
All right. We're going to take a quick timeout. Come back. I got a bunch of stuff to get to. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. We'll be right back. We want to take this moment to thank our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security, Titan MRI, Meldon Law, Peachland Dental, QC Kinetics, Campus USA Credit Union, Dave & Buster's. Our Gridiron sponsors, CertaPro Painters, Comfort Temp, UF Bookstores, Campus USA Credit Union, Quality Plumbing, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, F45. Our touchdown sponsors, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods. If you're interested in promoting your business on the show, call Freddie at 352-284-3733. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call at 352-240-1779. Andy says, you need 15 shots to make 5 points. Shane thought you were a three-point assassin. Well, in the NBA, Andy, those dudes are more athletic and bigger than I am. I'm sure a lot of my shots I wouldn't even get off. But to make 5, I mean, all I would need is if we were playing horse, just give me 3 shots and I'll get you 5 points minimum. But yeah, those guys are so athletic, they're scary. Text on the Titan MR text line from Sheila in Memphis, Tennessee says, Shane, I'm sure you've given this, but I just tuned in for quite some time. Your thoughts on this year's football team? I'll sound like a broken record to the guys and gals that listen to me on daily. I'm excited about this football team. I'm excited about the schedule. I don't care if it's demanding. I think we are going to embrace the schedule. I think there are 2 teams on there that are better than us on paper. Maybe people think they're better than us. That's Georgia and Texas. I think we can beat everybody else on the schedule. I'm not going to give you a number of wins, but we will. I think this team, it's all going to come down to, can we get off the field on third downs? Can we affect their quarterback, whoever it is, and can we tackle? Defense is the key to the Gators 2024 season. If we can play average or a little bit better than average defense, it'll be a hell of a year. I think people continue to forget how historically bad we have been defensively the last few years. It's hard to win football games. You don't have to be the 85 Bears or have a dominant defense to win in college football anymore, or just in football, period. You just have to stop people every now and then. And I think we can. JB says Missouri is better on paper. Maybe they are. I didn't mean it that way. I'm just saying, when I say on paper, I'm saying when I look at the schedule, I think there's 2 teams that are clearly better than the Florida Gators, and that is Georgia and Texas. Both of them. Well, Georgia didn't play in the 14 playoff last year, but Texas did. I know Ole Miss has a ton of transfers. Ole Miss has done great. Ole Miss has to win some games that mean something for me to be a believer, and I'm a diehard Ole Miss guy outside being a Gator. Missouri has a very, very, very easy schedule. Tennessee's schedule is easy. I don't believe in Tennessee. I didn't believe in Tennessee last year. They're going to have to show me something this year. But I think we're going to have a good year. Andy says, can you tell us how the semis recruited you when Bobby Bowden met your parents? What was the home visit? It was good. My mom didn't really care too much for Tallahassee or for the school. My parents went with me on all my visits. She was an English teacher at the high school. So, and I wanted to be an SEC guy. So it came down to Florida and LSU for me. Don't know why I picked the Gators. I was very, very close to being an LSU Tiger. And good thing I did. Things turned out pretty good. But yeah, Coach Bowden was great. Actually, Mickey Andrews was the guy that did most of the recruiting in our area. This text here says, why do you think Will Grier didn't make it in the NFL? It's hard. It's just that hard. You gotta understand, if you're going to be a backup quarterback, A, you have to be a great teammate. B, you have to be able to produce without practicing because you get no reps. And you better know the playbook inside and out of what everybody does. And you have to be somewhat of a extra coach on the staff. I didn't realize Will Grier. I thought he was on the Cowboys roster, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Live a healthier lifestyle with our bold, flavorful smoothies and our amazing food, tropical smoothie. When you eat better, you feel better. Next week, we'll get back on our regular schedule with most of our guests. And like I said, during the summertime, we'll have former players from different sports of the Gators joining us throughout the summer until we kick off August 31st. You know, we're only about a week away from SEC Media Days there in Dallas. So we'll have a lot of content coming from that. Brent Beer will be out there as well. I don't think Billy hasn't. Yeah, so Will Grier apparently is the third string quarterback on the Eagles roster right now. I'm sure they have some other guys. They probably have 5 or 6 quarterbacks they'll take to camp, and maybe he'll make the roster. But dude, I'm telling you, it's tough. It's tough to make it. I don't know how I made it as long as I did. Well, I do know why. It's all because of my so-called photographic memory. I could look at a playbook. This is a fact, never studied a playbook in my entire life at any level. Looked at a play when they installed it, knew what everybody did, never looked at it again. So I was very lucky when it comes to that. Hope y'all enjoyed today's program. I want to thank JC for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Have a great weekend, folks, and we'll be ready to rock and roll come Monday. Take care.